I believe with all these anti-car measures coming into place, the powers that be simply don't want us on the roads. They don't want us driving. They want us on sustainable forms of transport, I think they call it. Buses, bicycles, and all that sort of thing. Hell, we could even get a pedalo down the Thames at this rate. Could you imagine it? Well, when you go and purchase a new vehicle to make sure it's compliant and everything else, you think, oh, that's the end of it. But then you could be hit with another tax and could even pay a little bit more to park. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well. Thank you very much for joining me again. I appreciate the support and good to see you as always. Well, this applies to car drivers. Have you heard of ULEP? ULEP. Yes, ultra low emission parking, not zone parking. Yes, you heard it right. I brought you a little bit of material about Bath and what's going on down there, where they held a consultation, a bit like they do in Wales with 20-mile-an-hour zones, saying, oh, you know, do you think it's a good idea if the bigger, more gas-guzzly your car is, the more we'll charge you to park it? I suppose when you turn the key off and it's not producing any emissions, that doesn't really matter, does it? Excuse me while I get my tongue out of my cheek. Anyway, yes, so the more powerful, the more juicy your car is, the more you pay to park it. That's the whole idea. Now, how are they getting this information to be able to determine this? If I show you this little piece of news article here, and I'll read you what's here right away. The latest front on the war on motorists is possible after the DVLA, who hold the registration details of all cars in England and Wales, produced a vehicle inquiry service which app developers can use to check emission standards, allowing ULEP charging. In London, crossing from one side of the street to the other could see a motorist paying a significantly different rate, as councils have vastly different policies. Members of the public can also use a similar service to check if a car is taxed or has a valid MOT. I mean, yes, we've had that service for ages. Comes in handy when you actually want to buy a vehicle, but there is the blatant misuse of that information to charge the hell out of road users who should be allowed free carriage back and forward, surely. Well, this brief diagram is how it works. You see, a driver enters their car reg into an app. This is where they're trying to drive it all, app-based. And then the next logical step is pay per mile. You can see that coming a mile off. The registration is sent to the DVLA, who check the emissions data. And then the council's ultra-low emission parking surcharge fee, which the driver pays, is then indicated to them on the screen. Now, this is, if they're talking about apps, another nudge in that general direction. Very alarming. Another thing as well, if you have a look at this, this is the clean air zone in Bath. Basically, anything in here, particularly if you park your car, you will have to pay more. The more powerful, the more gas guzzly your car happens to be. And this is one of the signs that's been put up. You can see Charlotte Street car park there quite clearly says parking charges in this car park are based on your vehicle emissions, and you have all the clips and everything else. Now, there was a clip on the television, I think it was Danny Baker who was talking about this, and in one place there was actually something like 129 different parking tariffs. Can you imagine that? It's ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. Let me know what you think. Have you seen any ULEP where you are or know anything about it? Get in touch. Be good to hear from you. Anyway, please subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up. Leave your comments and share this around with all of your friends. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. Toodaloo.